This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
You gotta take the good with the bad, smile with the sad, love what you got, and remember what you have. I sat here for 5 minutes practicing that song to make this intro. Welcome back to the Distract Me Please podcast. I'm your host, Brianna Silva, and today I'm here by myself. Actually, I'm here with Connie staring at my door, coming to y'all to talk about my books yet again. Brianna, what could you be talking about books yet again for? Onyx Storm is releasing the third book in the Empyrean series, aka the third book of the Fourth Wing series. Anyone else does? Yeah, we all do that. We all do. I was about to be like, anybody else calls an entire series by the name of the first book and not what the actual series name is? Like the Crave series, which is, I think it's, I don't actually know what the entire name for the series is. It's the Crave series though. The Fourth Wing series, not the Empyrean series, a Broken Blade series, not the Halfling Saga series, which, oh my God, the fourth book, An Honored Vow, is out and it's been out for a while. And I still haven't gotten the book and read it because I need the physical copy of it because I have book 1, 2, and 3 in physical paperback form. And so I need An Honored Vow in paperback form, but a girl doesn't have a job, but it's okay. Oh my God, that just reminds me, I need to fill out an application for a part-time job. This just turns into me doing errands and chores all day. I'm still packing up my suitcase to leave the country, bro. But gotta take the good with the bad, smile with the sad, love what you got, and remember what you have. But no, Onyx Storm is coming out, and I'm so excited and just like I cannot believe, and just seeing the hinge drop, seeing that apparently Rebecca Yarros, I was looking for it, trying to figure out where she said it, because some of the book girlies, some of the book talk, bookstagrammers, book podcasters, okay, actually less podcasters, but book talk and bookstagram loves playing pranks on us readers. And so apparently someone had posted this song with that Barbie meme of that moment where like, if you haven't seen the Barbie movie, I'm just assuming you're misogynistic and racist. Like there's no other reason for you to have not seen the Barbie movie. It did so well across the board in the box office. Like, come on now, men, women, children, grown men, grandmas, aunties, uncles, babies, everybody went to go see that movie. It was so amazing, not just for like the story. I mean, I really love the message of the movie, I can't lie, but just like everything about it was just so perfection. And so if you didn't see the Barbie movie, you shouldn't be listening to my podcast. We're pro Barbie over here. Anyways. Oh my God. The Barbie movie, literally think about the Barbie movie. Oh my God, I just put my headphones on my lashes. I just did my own at-home lashes. Okay, fun fact about Brianna for all my new listeners who doesn't know me. Okay, where are we going? Brianna, pick a topic. Let's stick to it. And then one day I'm going to hop on this podcast and be like, guys, I like officially got a diagnosis for ADHD and I'm medicated. And I just know all my comments are going to be like, girl, we knew that. A girl, and we've been new. Where were you? Girl, the ADHD closet was open and see-through. What are you talking about? You just found out. What? No, we saw. We heard, we saw. We knew. We accepted you. Did you not know? Anyway. So, you gotta take the good with the bad. Oh my gosh, I just realized I didn't buy anything to make a travel size version of my perfumes. That's gonna eat me up. Ugh. Anyways, yeah, I did my lashes. Okay, so I'm a certified lash tech. I'm not an esthetician. I did what the Instagram girlies do, and someone who also isn't certified and learned how to do lashes created a course for you to pay them $500 to $900, and you go learn how to do lashes with them for a couple hours. Then they hand you a certificate and they go, here you go, you're now certified to do lashes. I did that. I didn't realize like estheticians are the ones who are supposed to be doing that. Like they do the eyebrows, the waxing, they do the facials. Like, girl, they do all of it. I basically got, y'all remember when people were like giving out certificates on how to do veneers at home instead of going to your dentist? And like, for me, it never clicked like, hey, doing nails, doing lashes, like microblading and all that, you shouldn't be learning that out of someone's house to like, you know, create what's it called, to create a little business for you. If it works out for you, great. But girl, what are you doing? Go to school for that. I didn't realize like, hey, this is someone's actual job. And I'm out here doing, okay, I wasn't doing Lashed by Brianna. I wanted to be original. So I called it Feathers. I went, registered the name and everything, got the business social security number to get some income. I did the whole 9 yards because I was like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to like make so much money. It's not even going to be funny. Lo and behold, then that's how I figured out, oh, I don't like customer service. Hey, I don't like doing a service for customers. I actually hate it. And I don't want to do this anymore. And now I'm a podcaster. Anyways, so yeah, I'm a certified lash tech. And so I use that skills to figure out, you know, what are actual good places for people to do your lashes, because there really is a whole, like, that's one thing I can at least say is that the person who had trained me, he really put an emphasis on like cleanliness, how to properly clean your station, how to properly keep your tools clean, because you're working near the eyes and like that can seriously get infected and you can seriously do some harm, how to be careful with the glue. And so it has allowed me to be able to, you know, pay attention to like how to not injure yourself. And so when I see videos of people who are like, eyelash extensions are so expensive, I'm going to do it all myself at home, and they buy the full on professional glue, because yes, you can just order it from Amazon, and they buy everything and then they try to do it by themselves individually with their eyes open. And I'm just like, what are you doing? You can severely hurt yourself. Stop. Like, there's other ways. And so one of the ways is like, there's a semi-permanent lash extension kit. I think the one that I always get is specifically made by Kiss. Where's the package? I just have the package with me. Is it not on the what is that? What is that? Oh my God, my headphones. Oh, the packaging's right here. My headphones connected to my computer and I did a full 360, and then my headphone cord is cold and it started to touch my back, and I was like, what is that? Oh no, this is by Ardell. Okay, so I typically get the Kiss ones, but this one I could only find the Ardell ones. So this one it's semi-permanent, waterproof, 2-week wear. So you can just get that, and that one you can place on yourself at home. It's a strong glue. Not to mention, when you go and get your lashes professionally done anyways, you want 2 to 3 weeks for it to last before you get a refill. And a refill is when half of the lashes have fallen off, and so it's time for to get a touch up, right? That's when you want to go get a refill. And so just seeing people do it by themselves, and I'm like, there's safer ways. Like, they make products for you to do it yourself at home without having to tiptoe the line of like, am I gonna blind myself today? Anyway, so I just did my lashes. Gotta take the good with the bad, smile with the sad. But yes, Onyx Storm is releasing, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait. I'm just, oh my God. Daniela even was like, oh my God, we might like go to a bookstore today. And I'm just like, like, I just want to feel the book energy of like, okay, books and new releases, and it's a new year, new anticipated reads, especially like January. We're starting off so strong with Onyx Storm, especially if like you're in the fantasy world. And I'm like freaking losing my mind. The one thing I have to say, I love a good outlandish theory. I love people trying to predict plot twists, especially using theories from the books, and like really doing a whole like, this is my inference, here is my evidence to support my to support my theory, if you will. And I love listening to the podcast. I love seeing them on TikTok. I love seeing it on Instagram Reels. I love all of it. You know what starts to irk me? I don't know if I'm good at pattern recognition. Well, that has to be it because I have a strong intuition. And like right now, the only explanation that science can find for intuition is actually just pattern recognition. And so you can see when something is like off. And so I can like look at a bottle and be like, that bottle's not supposed to be here. There's a shooter in the room. And like, I know that sounds crazy, but it happens to me all the time where I look at something as simple as a quarter on the floor. I walk in and I can just feel something's off. But in reality, it's because I realized like it was like, I can recognize it, right? And so sometimes it irks me when I hear certain theories and they back it up with like one sentence in the book and they're like, that's it. That's it. That's the theory. And I'm just like, you're so way off. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it's like sometimes it genuinely pisses me off. Oh my God. That's what that is what has made me angry for the week. That's it. People creating these crackpot theories for books, and it just like, it does not make dollars or cents. Like, oh my God. Well, I'm trying to think of some that I thought were just so ridiculous that I literally sat there and questioned if I had read the same book as this person, but I can't think of any right now. Because typically when I see it, I'm like, you're so funny if you think you connected dots, and I'll just scroll away. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So far, the ones that have been pissing me off for Onyx Storm are going to be people trying to figure out Violet's signet. And so right now, and it's not that I think I got it right. I'm very much aware, like, while I am good at predicting movies and predicting the plots of books and figuring it out, I'm also a person where I'm like, if it's not like if it's not just like in your face obvious in a book, I'm not going to try to figure it out. Like, I do love trying to figure it out, like trying to figure things out. But for the most part, if it's not in my face obvious, I don't try that hard. I don't put in energy and effort to go reread, highlight, and figure it out. And so since Rebecca Yarros said, hey, Violet's second signet is in Iron Flame, people are going through Iron Flame and creating the most insane theories that I've ever heard in my life. And it pisses me off because here's what we know about Rebecca Yarros. She loves to twist her truth. So remember, one of the quotes that had released ahead of the release of Iron Flame was, "Then I reached for Dane's belt and undid it." Like, remember, that was the quote that was going around and we were all like, what is she talking about? What do you mean Violet's reaching to undo Dane's belt? And so for a while, there was a theory that like Dane is the real enemies to lovers here. And honestly, I kind of do support that theory just because Rebecca is known for I think she was a romance writer. So she was known for her romance books, and this is her fantasy debut, and it's a romantasy. And it just happened to be her best-selling book of all her books, I believe. And so her romantasy is doing freaking amazing. And I'm like, well, if she's a romance writer, and especially if she's like writing in a series, I would not put it past her to write like, oh, this is who you fall in love with, and then you fall out of love with them, and we have a new character for her to actually fall in love with. And I'm just thinking about like Sarah J. Maas. I really do love when authors do that, where you're reading a romantasy or even a romance series. I actually haven't read a romance series that does that. Typically, most romance books end up being like a standalone, or it ends up being like a standalone series. So like, this book is about, the first people that you're introduced to, but then book 2 is about the brother of the male main character of book 1, aka MMC. And then book 2 is like the sister of the FMC female main character, and of book one, like, and so it ends up being like standalone series for romance. I've never actually seen a full romance series about the relationship itself, but because this is a romantasy, you have the background romantasy plot. I mean, you have the background fantasy plot, and then the love story is just in the center of it. And I used to hate books like that, but now that I'm like learning that I actually really like romance books, I've been enjoying that. And so I wouldn't put it past her to do that, because she needs to keep this romance plot going. Because I mean, we read Iron Flame, y'all. An entire book about miscommunication. It could have been a novella. It genuinely could have been a novella, but we'll get past that. There were parts that I loved, but for the most part, it felt like a very, very, very slow book, because again, the main focal point was like Xaden and Violet are fighting. And it's like, girl, what? Anyways, and so I really could see that of like, oh, I could see them being the true enemies to lovers, Dane and Violet, especially because, you know, Fourth Wing ended off in a place where she was with Xaden, but she was with Xaden as she's uncovering some really hard truths. And then Fourth Wing ended with the hardest truth of all. And so I could see how she like would start to fall out of love with him and fall in love with Dane. So I was like, oh my God, like, no, they could be the true enemies to lovers. And that's such a good theory. But then when it came out, it was like, no, Dane used his belt as like a sling for her arm. So that's why she was reaching to undo his belt buckle. And so we know Rebecca likes to bend the truth to not actually give us the information that we want to know. And if I'm not mistaken, what book was it that like the Portuguese or German translation of the book leaked? And so everyone was able to go and freaking read the book. Like go read the first 2 chapters. I want to say it had to be Iron Flame. Because isn't that why she released the first chapter on her website? My point being, we know the girl likes to twist the truth. So if she said, hey, Violet's signet has already revealed itself in book 2, and it kind of did in book 1, because remember when she like crosses the parapet, it starts to storm and rain, and everyone was like, oh my God, her mom like messed with the weather to make her first trial harder. But we know even though Violet's mom is like a horrible person, she still loves her children and still wants to protect her children, and so she wouldn't do that. And so that's when you kind of put together that like, oh, Violet has always liked storms. And there's a point in Fourth Wing where she says like, I love storms, I love thunder and lightning, I love a rainy day. And then boom, she's a lightning wielder. And so I think it's going to be something as small as that. Now, with that being said, where are some of these theories coming from? People are talking about it has to be time magic. I can kind of see that because of Andarna and that whole thing. But there was also another conversation of like feathered dragons. Feather-tailed dragons have different magic because they're babies, so they need to protect themselves. So it can't be time magic, because she only had that time magic because Andarna was a feathertail. And so that's why I'm like, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that glaringly obvious. We know Rebecca Yarros likes to twist the truth. The only moments that I feel like it could be, and then I really did like the theory of like, oh, it could be like Liam, her seeing Liam has to do with it. And like, yes, I agree with that, except Rebecca Yarros already blatantly came out and said, that's not it. It has nothing to do with that. So I think we're going to learn something else about it, about why she was seeing Liam or whatever. And I can't wait to figure that out. Or if Rebecca doesn't acknowledge that at all, I'm actually going to be sussed out. But that's besides the point. But the 2 main moments that I'm like, something needs to be addressed here, and I do think it has to do with her signet. One is when Mr. Xaden, oh my God, Mr. Zadie Daddy Ryerson, what is it? My house, my chair, my woman, bro. And they have that moment on the chair where they start to womp, womp, womp. And right after like Kat manipulated Violet's emotions to get her to feel things at a deeper level. And so Xaden's like, let me prove to you, you're my woman. Oh my God. But there's a moment where she's basically, where they're almost in each other's heads, where at the peak of the moments, at the going nowhere fast, we've reached the climax. When she arrived at the station, bro, they have a moment where they connect and they go mind to mind. And one thing we know is that when Violet arrives at the train station, she can't control her magic. Throughout book 1, that has always been when she lost her magic, was when her and Xaden were womp, womp, womp. And like she loses it. And every time, like that is literally why she had the professor be like, oh my God, you can't even control your magic in your sleep. And she's just like, a teehee, even down to the point where, you know, she's out on the mountain trying to wield her lightning. And oh my God, why did I just forget his name right now? I know I did not forget the name of my favorite dragon right now. Oh my God, Terran. I was like, he's going to be so mad at me. Like, that's Daddy Terran. We all want to ride Terran. Dragon, Saddleback, obviously. Anyways. So literally down to when Terran was like, do you want me to go get the wing leader? Because we all see that she loses control as she arrives at her train station. And so that's why I'm like, if there's any piece of evidence just based off of what we've seen in the previous books that has something to do with it, but that doesn't fully tell us what her powers are. And remember, the only other hint that we got was that their powers manifest based off of what they need. And so she keeps saying that she needs the truth. She needs the truth. And so I do think her second signet is going to have to do something. Not to mention, there is that moment where they said the only thing more deadly than being an intrinsic is being a truth sayer. And so I have a feeling that her powers are going to be definitely something mental, because we saw her and Xaden have that moment. And so I definitely do see how she can be a truth sayer. I think 2 intrinsics is too basic, too obvious. And so it's definitely not that. So I think it's going to be something along those lines. Anything else? A distance wielder. She's gonna shoot ice. She's gonna shoot heat. What are y'all talking about, bro? What are y'all talking about? We see how Rebecca drops the most subtle foreshadowing hints. Like someone had said that Rydok literally said, my powers are going to be cooler than everyone else's, or my signet's going to be cooler than everyone else's. And then he ends up being an ice wielder. Like, it's funny things like that she drops the most casual hints. And so people are looking for the most out loud, blaring red flag hint. And I'm like, it's just not making dollars nor cents. Why the hell would the girl be an ice wielder? Out of everything on this damn planet, she would be an ice wielder? Where did y'all get that information? And it's always from the tiniest bits and pieces of information. And so that's what pisses me off, is that I'm like, bro, are we reading the same book? And I know I cannot control people to have like theories or whatnot and this and that, and like that's the fun part of it, is like creating all these like crackpot theories that you just go like absolute ballistic on. But I think what like irks me is when I see people get so passionate about defending their points of like, this is my theory, that sometimes I'm like, I literally just I'm like, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. That theory is an absolute no. We let it slide because you were having fun as you made that theory. We had fun listening to you when you made that theory, but we all knew you were dead wrong. But we're gonna let it slide. Oh my God. Especially like with the whole what's it called in Akatar, how everyone is like, oh my God, is it gonna be Elaine and Azriel, or is it gonna be Elaine and Lucian? But like, that's too obvious for it to be 3 brothers, 3 sisters. Sarah J Maas would. Sarah J. Maas would. She would absolutely do 3 brothers pairing with 3 sisters. She would absolutely do that. That is not the excuse for why I don't think Elaine is not going to end up with Azriel. She did say that like people could have 2 mates, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll be in the books. I do believe Elaine's going to end up with Lucian. Just because he has that, like, Elaine and Azriel are just too much of the opposites. And we see that Sarah J. Maas loves complementary mates. And so you have the female version of Reese, yeah. Bro, because sometimes I still want to call him Rysand. I want to go back to that. And so when they like nickname him Reese, I always said rice. And like my roommate would literally be there and be like, you're calling him a bowl of rice? And I'm like, it was Reese's Pieces or rice. And rice is delicious. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so that's why I'm just like, oh my God, do like people not realize like an author is always going to keep like their same writing style, their writing patterns, because it's the same person. So they're going to have roughly the same ideas. That is why you have like a lot of overlapping with certain things in the stories. And then people take it to like run with the theory. And I'm just like, no, it's simply because it's one person writing this book. And you can only have so much diversity with one author. If my phone case is not my phone case, if my screen protector is broken, I'm actually going to scream. Yeah, we're back on the squeaky chair, guys. When are we not? I'm actually going to scream. I literally just changed my screen protector because I was like, New Year, time to get rid of the old, change out my old busty dusty phone case and change out the screen protector, and for it to be day 10 into the new year, oh my God. And I just flung my phone accidentally across the room. Insane. So that's what's been pissing me off this week, because I'm like, I can't stand the theories, but I'm so excited for the book, and I'm so excited for people to find out that they're dead wrong, because I'm mean and I enjoy watching people be dead wrong after making the most insane theories. Like, what is wrong with you? Is there anything other with books that like, I was just thinking about something with books and then I completely forgot it. I need to pre-order Onyx Storm on Kindle. I just completely reorganized my bookshelf because we're going to ignore the dryer in the background, because I had to remove like half the books on my bookshelf to help my mom like compress a bunch of booklets that she had printed out for the church, and she needed it to sit flat and it wasn't. So I had to like use my books to help her press them down for them to remain flat. And so because of that, I had the opportunity to reorganize my bookshelves. And when I tell you, I am just enjoying the look of it so much more. And I keep looking over and staring at my books and enjoying my bookshelf. And like, I just love having books, and I just cannot wait to like get my own space and just have an entire section dedicated to just books and bookshelves and being like a little miniature personal library, and slowly getting to fill it with books and going book shopping. And I really, really, really want to get the what's it called? I want a subscription box. And I talked about this on the last episode, but I so badly want a book subscription box. I really like the Fairy Loot books. And maybe I'm just a little biased because my roommate had it, and I just like love seeing all those books. I think they were the prettiest. The only other like books, like company that makes books that I love absolutely looking at, like every look of these special editions, I would say is Owl Crate. So Owl Crate and Fairy Loot are like the two where I'm like, they always have the prettiest books. They always have the prettiest designs. So if I had to get a book subscription, I'm between those two. And I'm just like, oh, but they're so expensive and you have to be on a waiting list. And I just want to be, I'm just a girl who likes to read. And so, just wait on it. When I tell y'all, I cannot wait to be doing reviews. I'm officially like trying to sign up for NetGalley because I want to do, I want to read arcs, and I want to come on here and like talk about my arcs with you guys. Like, I want to rate and review different books. Dragon Gods was the book that I got approved for the arc for. So I'm really excited for that. Other than that, I'm finishing the last book in the Crave series. That's what I'm planning to read in the airport, on the plane, when I vroom, vroom, vroom. And that book is so damn long that I know, like, even though I started it yesterday, I just know I'm still, like, even when it's time for me to, like, leave on my trip, I just know I'm still going to be reading it in the airport. Like, it's literally like 700 and something pages long. Like, it's going to take me 3 weeks to read that book. So I'm like, yeah, we can full on finish it in the airport or something. I don't know. But anything else? I was about to start singing, but I downloaded other books just in case I finished it before I went on vacation. We'll see. Yeah, that's it. Other than that, I've been like full on crashing out in my car and screaming recently. And it's so funny because then I'll get like a sore throat for like 2 days. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know why my throat hurts. Like, my throat really hurts. Maybe I'm getting sick. I don't know. Like, I got my flu shot and everything, so I shouldn't get fully sick. But like, yeah, my vocal cords like really hurt. And it's like, maybe because you're screaming in the middle of a crash out in your car. Maybe that's the reason. But yeah, so those have been the books that I'm into. I'm so excited. So I'm reading, what is the last one? Charmed. I think Charmed is the final book. I'm on the final book that's purple and the Crave series. I just finished A Fate Inked in Blood. That book, chef kiss, bro. Literally looked it up. Oh my God. So spoiler alert for the book. Just skip ahead 1 minute, okay? Starting now, skip ahead 1 minute. Okay, so at the ending of A Fate Inked in Blood, we find out that she's Hel's daughter. And I looked it up, and like the goddess of hell in Norse mythology is associated with Sagittarius and Scorpio. And so me and my cousin were laughing because we're like, oh my God, we too are also daughters of hell. And I was like, I want to condemn people to hell. That's so fun. But like, kind of saw that coming. Oh my God, I could talk about it so much. I'm going to talk about it. Okay, skip ahead 5 more minutes. If you did skip ahead a minute and now you're listening to my voice yet again, skip ahead 5 more minutes. I'm going to do a little more spoilers. Okay, so for Fate Inked in Blood, I kept thinking that she, like the second god blood that was in her, the second drop of blood that was in her was Loki. And it like she walked up to the statue and was like, oh my God, I wanted to pray for myself. You know, they kept saying chaos and destruction followed her. And, you know, Loki is the god of like mischief, deception, all that stuff, you know, kind of looked at as the evil villain in most stories. And so I kept thinking it was Loki because they kept defining her as chaos. But then it was so funny to find out that like, but then it wasn't matching because you know, even with the undead creatures, I can't think of their names, when she was like, I condemn you all to hell, like black roots came up from the earth and actually dragged them to hell. And so, you know, I was like, oh, that's so interesting. So like Hades, Lucifer, like what is happening? But I know that's not Norse mythology. So like what's happening here? And it never clicked until I did a little bit of research and I saw that Loki has 3 girls and one of his daughters is the goddess of hell. And so it never clicked for me though. Like that didn't click. I was like, no, it has to be Loki. Why would it be one of Loki's children if they keep defining her as like chaos? And, you know, she's always like, I need to be deceptive because of the lies that I'm living. So then to find out it is Loki's daughter, it was just like, no, it does make sense though. That's why she's able to condemn them to hell. But that's also why she has a little bit of that mischief in her. But it makes sense on why she's more, not just the goddess of hell, but like the goddess of death. Like that's why has more of that death and destruction in her and not as much like chaos and deception. Because even though like, yes, she does enjoy chaos and deception, but it's not what made her tick. It's not what made her lose her mind, you know? But that's besides the point. Anyways, I think I'm going to end this podcast episode here because I need to go record 2 more podcast episodes because I'm trying to get ahead on scheduling. So by the time that I do leave for the country, you know, it's going to be real easy, real quick work to go ahead and like pre-schedule all that stuff. So yeah, I think I'm done here. Ta-ta for now. Show's over. Bye.